Hello! Welcome to episode 121 of Converse and Ninjaverse. I'm Will.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Mike.
And we are the Fantastic Three.
We are the Fantastic Three. We are much more fantastic than the four, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. Yes, we will. So
I guess we'll do what we always do. We'll start with the box office. And coming in at number one this week
was not Fantastic Four.
Not Fantastic Four. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation in its second week took in $28.5 million. It's made $107.7 million total. Still hearing really good things about it. I've enjoyed all the movies. We talked about it last week. I've enjoyed all the Mission Impossibles that I've seen. So I'm definitely going to check that out at some point.
Tom Cruise does most of his stunts.
Yeah, I'm not a real big Tom Cruise fan, but I dig the Mission Impossible movies.
The Tom Cruise does his own stunt thing. I've always had an issue with because one of those Mission Impossible movies, when he came out and said that there was a stuntman that was like, no, I do some of Tom Cruise's stunts.
Well, he does a lot. I'm not saying he does all of them, but he does a lot. He
yes,
did the
but
plane
Tom Cruise
stunt.
in the past has said, "Oh, I've done my own stunts," when he did not.
He should have prefaced that with some.
Which is a disservice to the guys that are out there risking their lives to make Tom Cruise look good. Even though Tom Cruise is doing a bunch of stunts to make it sound like, oh, hey, I'm doing all my stunts, or I'm doing, hey, look at all these stunts I'm doing. And it's like I feel he's done a huge disservice to the guys that are out there working for him and working to make him look good by saying things like, oh, in the past when he said, now that he's changed it and said, oh, I'm not doing all my stunts. But the guy, I forget where I heard the interview. It was either Howard Stern or Opie Anthony because it was a while ago. And the guy's like, I'm doing it, They're like, oh, aren't you upset you're going to lose that Tom Cruise money? He goes, I get paid no matter who I'm doing the stunts for. I get paid the same.
Yeah. Stuntmen, we salute you.
Absolutely.
Now, we're not going to go in depth about number two until after we're done with the top five because we got to talk about
we'll take forever.
Yeah, we got to talk about number two.
Number two
with a stinky bullet
was Fantastic Four.
We'll circle around to that.
What did it do? I didn't look at anything. So
yeah, how much did it make?
Give me a number.
$5.6 million.
Say that again.
$25.6 million.
Did you leave the 100 off the front?
I did not leave the 100 off the front.
And that was about half of its projected.
But we'll get into
a dread opening.
We'll get into
that after.
Number three was The Gift. That took in $11.8 million. That's in its first week.
Oh, isn't that a horror movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Number four was Vacation. Took in $8.9 million. $37 million total. That's in its second week. And then coming in at number five was Ant-Man. That took in $7.9. $147.5 million, and that's in its fourth week.
Which I finally made it up to go see.
You just saw Ant-Man.
Yes.
In a theater where everybody decided to bring children that were too young to go to a theater and let them run through a theater. And it was one of those dine-in theaters where I could order a beer and not plastic cup, but a glass of beer.
Nice. I need to go there.
Well, I don't know if I think I'm going to stop going there because it's in the mall and it's like people just bring their shit little kids and let them run around and scream and yell. And I think the time before that I was there, I had to yell at a lady because she kept on trying to take selfies of herself holding a martini, and she had a flash that was going off in my face the whole time.
I remember you talking about that.
People just don't have common sense anymore.
People don't. It's not even common sense.
Courtesy.
It's courtesy.
It's courtesy, yeah.
Everybody is so self-absorbed in, I got to document every, part of my life that they don't care about anything.
And I could get in trouble by stating out a fact about all the people that were in the movie theater whose children were misbehaving and who were taking selfies of themselves and talking through the film and answering phone calls through the film.
I would hit someone with a brick.
Now, I'm sure there's other theaters and other places where it happens in less diverse places, but
still.
Let's just say it was the United Nations of people pissing me to fuck off.
Nice.
There was a Benetton ad of little obnoxious children running around the fucking theater.
All right. So aside from that, what did you think of Ant-Man?
It was done extremely well. It was much better than I ever thought an Ant-Man movie deserved to be. Like Will said, it's a heist movie done in a superhero setting.
That Michael Douglas effect at the beginning.
The Michael Douglas effect at the beginning was good. You know, I was looking at it a little too hard, and his mouth moves a little funny.
A little bit, but
not too much. And that's just because whenever there's an effect like that, I'm not even paying attention to what he's saying in the scene. I'm just looking at his face.
But that was some Romancing the Stone Michael Douglas shit right at the beginning of that movie.
It definitely was, yes. That was cool, kick-ass Michael Douglas. And I like that they kind of did it with that. All right, the Michael Douglas Hank Pym had been Ant-Man for years of his life and packed it in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. At some point. So, and they, without giving too much away, they show some
footage.
Yeah, some Michael Douglas Ant-Man. You don't necessarily see Mike because of the helmet. It's just a guy. It's just a computer-generated guy. But there's cool scenes. And it kind of leads to maybe we're going to get a little Ant-Man, We're going to get a little Ant-Man in Agent Carter.
Yes.
Which would be cool.
Yeah. Which actually they said this season of Agent Carter is in San Francisco, and it's supposed to have some ties to Ant-Man, so...
And now, do you think they put it in San Francisco because it was Michael Douglas and he protects the streets of San Francisco?
I think so. I do. I think that's got to be. Why else would they have a hero on the West Coast? Ant-Man was never from the West Coast originally, I don't think.
No, well, they got to spread it out. Iron Man did some stuff on the West Coast, and I'm not.
Well, yeah, he was bi-coastal.
And
I think at one point they were both part of the West Coast Avengers. So.
Yeah.
Bring on Wonder Man.
It works with doing it on the West Coast. I didn't even think about that until like today. I'm like, oh, Streets of San Francisco, Michael Douglas. It took place in San Francisco. Now if they could just get a computer-generated Carl Malden to be, who's another old Avenger?
I don't know.
Somebody. That Thomas the Tank Engine was great too. It was funny. There was a laundry list of stuff for the Thomas the Tank Engine bit for the movie that he couldn't do. Like, he couldn't kill anybody. He had to always have a smiley face. He couldn't be portrayed in a menacing way. Like, there was a whole list that they had to license for Thomas the Tank Engine.
Well, I think any other way it wouldn't have the gag wouldn't have worked of having the train fight scene and the train as Thomas the Tank Engine.
I'm sorry, that fight scene was fucking awesome. So good.
And the job that they did with Yellow Jacket, to kind of take Yellow Jacket, who was a evil Hank Pym, and kind of invent a character. I don't know if that guy was in the comics at all, but
yeah, he was. He's a Scott Lang villain. Okay. He's not a Hank Pym villain.
But to put him in the role of Yellow Jacket and have it work out like that, it conveyed elements of the character. And I like the aspect of the Pym particles, that overexposure to the Pym particles does things to your personality.
Yes, which I thought was kind of a nod to the past of Hank Pym, but just enough to say that maybe he got a little unstable at some point.
Yeah.
So I thought that was good. And without spoiling anything, the 2 after-credit scenes were fantastic. The second one especially.
Which I heard they were good. I still haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, that's why we're trying not to say much about it.
That's just because I've been super busy.
All right.
I can think of the second one, and I can't remember what the first one was.
The first one had more Michael Douglas in it.
Okay, okay. I couldn't remember if that was the scene or if that was part of the regular movie.
Yeah, that was the first one. But speaking of, since Chris hasn't seen it, let's talk about a movie.
Let me just say they did a great job with Ant-Man with keeping things out of the trailer. That. Previously they would have put things that would have been like a cool surprise. So there was some neat stuff and a couple of things I didn't expect to see.
Yeah.
That were in the film.
And Michael Pena was great. Is his buddy there?
Yeah, he's good in everything.
Yeah.
He was in Grace Point, the miniseries for Fox with David Tennant.
Okay.
The American version.
And that was the first serious thing I had ever seen him in.
He was in End of Watch, too.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay. The thing that I always loved him in is Observe and Report.
Oh, God, yeah. I forgot he was in that. I forgot about that movie.
Observe and Report is a fantastic movie that nobody has ever seen.
That's that Seth Rogen.
I think I bought it when Blockbuster went out, and I just haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's it kind of gets lumped in with people who are like, oh, it's just a Paul Blart ripoff, but it's
really dark, actually.
It's a security. Yeah, it's an R-rated, hard, dark comedy.
It was really good though.
That was one of the movies I've laughed the hardest at in the past couple of years. And Michael Pena was one of the reasons.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about a movie nobody saw.
Wow, did nobody see this movie?
Nobody. Nobody even saw this movie by accident.
I saw Friday, and for those of you that weren't paying attention 10 minutes ago, we're talking about Fantastic Four.
Or the Four.
Four. I saw Friday night that they were projecting like 48 million for the opening, which, while not great for a superhero movie,
it wasn't terrible.
It wasn't terrible, and it could have gotten some legs. But I think I messaged you, Will, or you messaged me yesterday morning.
I think I messaged you first.
And the number that was there was mind-blowing.
Yep.
The fact that this movie barely made $25 million in its opening weekend.
Yeah.
Half of what they were projecting.
Yeah.
Not even I, who was shitting on this movie from the get-go. Even after, stuff had come out and it was kind of starting to turn everybody and be like, maybe it's not going to be so bad.
I was debating going to see it, actually.
You were debating to go see it. And I was still kind of shitting on this movie, and America shit on this movie.
Oh, America shit.
I was guessing it to do... If I had to guess, I would have said between 60 and 80, right around $70 million. Which would have been one of those, all right, everybody went to go see it, because people go to see something even though it looks horrible, like those Transformer movies, people. But I guess they had a better starting off point.
Yeah.
Please silence your phone.
Yeah,
I am.
Entertainment show.
Yeah, god damn it. What kind of professional are you?
I thought I did.
I am a broadcast journalist, and I don't have to put up with this type of shoddy entertainment.
Listen, it was my wife. You can blame Gina.
I will blame Gina. Damn it, Gina. But yeah, I didn't expect that number to come through. And I mean, I wasn't expecting $100 million. I wasn't. Because, again, the trailers were coming through, and still with the trailers, I didn't know what the hell was going on.
And that last Comic-Con trailer actually looked decent.
That's what I mean. The last Comic-Con trailer started to steer people into this movie might not be so bad. And then I think it was last week there were some people that started tweeting that they had gotten to see like an early release party thing. And it was like it was getting rave reviews, but then it turned out that everybody was giving it a rave review was in the goddamn movie, or was like friends with somebody that was in the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Sounds
I think like one of them was like Big Boy from Outkast, who's in the movie, and then like 6 of his friends talked about what a great movie it was. And when I saw that, I went.
That's become one of those new like viral marketing things, is to like false tweet stuff, to like bot tweet it, and try to create a buzz with imaginary people, or to have your staff go out and talk about how good the movie is, and to get that word out there.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
the director is already backpedaling, trying to blame the studio for.
The director was backpedaling on Friday.
Yeah, he was.
Wasn't even like the movie wasn't even like officially out yet.
The tweet was out for 9 minutes. It said something along the lines of his vision for the Fantastic Four would have been great, but the studio made changes, and that's what happened to the movie.
I don't know, man.
How many changes?
Yeah, it had to be a. Did they film the same movie? Did
They
he
put
film
the change was they made a good movie and they changed it to a bad movie. That's what happened.
Like I've heard, like there are like bands that record an album and then the album never sees the light of day, and then they go and they re-record that album and it's brilliant, but they change producers and all that. But god damn, man, how bad did they fuck with this movie if that's the case?
I know.
I think what's been happening with probably every Fantastic Four movie is you have yet to let them do anything truly fantastic.
Yeah.
They're battling stuff on Earth. They're battling like Earthborn threats.
Or a giant cloud.
And they're trying to ground it in so much reality that it's hurt it. It has to be kind of Fantastic Four, I think, for it to work, has to be kind of as goofy and freeform as like Guardians of the Galaxy, or Ant-Man, or something like it's. I'm sure there's got to be one of these ones that Marvel didn't do that will come to mind. That somebody who's given it the free range. But I think it was in the Honest trailer for Fantastic Four. They're like, they've taken a comic book that it was psychedelic space stuff, and they've turned it into, they try and turn it into this dark, gritty something.
Yeah, and it doesn't need that.
No, and
I think it mentioned the comic book movie obsession with cloud-based villains.
Yeah.
They had Galacticus, you had Green Lantern, you had the Honest trailer for Fantastic Four was great.
Yeah, I just watched it earlier today.
But I didn't expect it.
The Hulk had a cloud-based villain.
And who would have thought, not counting The Incredibles, which is the best Fantastic Four movie that's not the Fantastic Four. I mean, even down to the, post-credits or the before-credits scene, the ending scene of that movie is
Mole Man.
The
Underminer.
But who would have thought?
And you know who played
that? The Roger.
Yes, John
Ratzenberger.
The number 5 highest-grossing actor of all time.
Yeah.
John Ratzenberger.
But who would have thought that the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie would be the best Fantastic Four movie?
It's ridiculous.
Which,
and honestly, I'll say,
interesting side note, friend of the show and podcaster in his own right, Gene Hendricks, just finally saw the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie.
I just recently
surprised.
I just recently picked up a copy on DVD. I used to have one on VHS years ago, and I just recently picked up a DVD copy of it to watch it again. It has the most Doctor Doom looking Doctor Doom, and I haven't seen that movie in maybe 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
But out of the Fantastic Four movies, I kind of always liked the Rise of the Silver Surfer Fantastic Four movie, which I know a lot of people hated.
See, I didn't mind the first one with the first one before Rise of the Surfer or whatever. I didn't mind it. It wasn't a great movie, but I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I wasn't. I didn't hate it, but.
Well, if anything, and this is kind of what I prayed for this movie to eat a bag of dog dicks, and then Fox will finally give up. I know you said earlier that they're still looking at going forward with the sequel.
They're talking sequel, but
I mean, the same thing happened with Spider-Man.
With the money this thing is making, nothing justifies the sequel.
No.
unless somehow it gets some legs somewhere, whether it's on DVD or on demand or something.
International market?
The only thing I could think of is, yes, they have another Fantastic Four movie slated for 2017 or whatever, whenever it is. They also had a Spider-Man movie slated that now is a joint project between Marvel and Sony. Maybe they, again, reboot Fantastic Four and make it a joint project between Marvel and Sony.
Can we get the Fantastic Four into Civil War? How quick?
How quick
can we turn this over? How quick can we cast a Fantastic Four and put them?
I think if Marvel was to go to Fox and be like, you know what, here's a bag of money, you fucked this up for the third time.
Stop it.
I did read something, and I don't know if this was just some internet guy's conjecture or if it's based in any reality, but there was some talk that Fox wants to put out some kind of an X-Men TV show.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've been hearing the X-Men.
Yeah, it's
And
coming back again.
what they might wheel and deal with to get permission, to get the rights signed off from Marvel is, all right, we'll give you Fantastic Four back. Let us have the go on our X-Men TV show.
That wouldn't be a bad deal. Just saying.
Yeah, something, and it's such a shame because I've said it on the show. I've never been a huge Fantastic Four fan. Like I've read issues of the comic. I like the characters, but I was never like, ooh, Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
but
it was never a go-to book.
This just breaks my heart that it's just.
The funniest thing, though, about the whole thing is apparently the best performance in the movie was the one that made the most uproar with the casting is Michael B. Jordan. They said he is the best Johnny Storm that they've had.
Yeah.
But the rest of the movie just falls flat.
Well, what's funny is the last Johnny Storm was the best Captain America.
I know. And it's a bad sign when your last commercial or internet trailer for your big movie coming out is, oh, don't forget the Deadpool trailer's attached to this.
Yeah.
And that's the Deadpool trailer that everybody already saw on the internet anyway.
Yeah. So nobody's going to. It's not like back in the day when I think I went to go see like Prince of Egypt to watch the 1.5-minute Star Wars trailer. Or whatever.
Meet Joe Black. Had this Star Wars trailer on it, and people literally bought tickets for it, watched the trailer, and walked out of the movie.
And it
was a Brad Pitt, Anthony Hopkins movie.
Yeah. So that movie made more money than it should have.
Yes.
Not that it's a bad movie, because I've seen it. I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it when I've seen it. But yeah, this is just not good.
No.
Well, maybe it is good because maybe it's the beginning of the changeover. And maybe it opens a window for Fox to say, all right, we'll do joint on everything with you. When everybody comes home.
Which would be...
when we said...
would be the best thing to happen.
Yeah. When we a couple months ago when we were talking about Hugh Jackman leaving Wolverine, I said it's the perfect time for them to tie back in, if they're going to recast... Let's tie back in. Let's do it as a joint thing, and let's.
And I just don't.
You got little pieces of this and here and there, and it becomes a. If you're cranking out 2 or 3 of these movies a year, and they're all connected, at some level, it creates like that old serial effect. That people start thinking, all right, well, I saw Thor, now I have to see Doctor Strange. And then I have to see X-Men or Gambit or whatever there's a lot of those properties out there, and we could get to the point that we'd have 3-4 comic book movies a year that are tied into each other, plus a handful of TV shows. It create that huge comic book universe that we've always wanted to see. I mean, we have a great one now, but for those the big ticket items like the X-Men and like Fantastic Four, And, I'm kind of the same way. There were times that I read Fantastic Four that I'd get on to a run for Fantastic Four for a year and a half, and then they'd change writers. I wasn't as into it or something like that. But Fantastic Four were always my favorite guest star in comics.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Like, I always loved when, like, Spider-Man couldn't figure something out and he went to ask Reed Richards, or he'd, like, run into his college roommate, Johnny Storm, and they would go do something. Or Wolverine and the Thing playing cards together.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the little elements of that. And that's the thing that they haven't captured with the Fantastic Four. It's that family element, and then in the Marvel Universe, they're like the nice neighbors that you go and ask something. Yeah. You go next door and ask to borrow a cup of unstable molecules, and Reed Richards is there.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Here's what I want out of this whole thing. Honestly, you don't have to give Marvel the rights back to the Fantastic Four. Just fucking give them Doctor Doom. Because, for the love of God.
Well, Doctor Doom, Kang, there's a bunch of those villains that are tied up there.
I know, but Doctor Doom has gotten no respect in the movie so far.
Yeah.
None.
Doctor Doom is the best villain in all of comics.
Yes. And no. At least this one wasn't the rumor that was going around that he's Victor Dumashev and he's an internet blogger. But he wasn't far off. He was still Von Doom, but he was like some kind of computer technician. No! Motherfucker is from Latveria, and he rules that shit. And he's a magician. Yeah. And no! Just stop it. Give Marvel back Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom is evil, should be evil Batman, that he can do everything.
Mm-hmm. But just the second best.
Yes, he's the second best at everything. And actually, with Doctor Doom, 9 out of 10 times, nobody beats Doctor Doom. Doctor Doom beats himself.
Yep.
Yeah.
You trick him into something that he oversteps his bounds.
Yeah. Because he gets too full of himself.
Yeah.
But
I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed because I wanted it to fail because I want it to roll. I want the rights to roll back over, and I want them to.
Yeah, I think that's what we all want.
All this means is in another 9.5 years, we'll get a Fantastic Four reboot.
I want there to be a computer-generated thing that's voiced by John DiMaggio.
Yes.
I want there to be a Johnny and Sue Storm who are brother and sister.
Like blood related.
Blood related. I don't care what color they are. I want there to be a Reed Richards that's impressive on that Reed Richards level.
And not 12 years old.
I don't want a brooding...
That's been my gripe about this casting. It's not so much the Michael B. Jordan casting as Torch and that. It's the Reed Richards looking like he's 12 years old.
Honestly, look-wise, the Fantastic Four movie with Chris Evans, they all looked the part.
Yeah.
But, All right, let's move on to better Fox news. That Deadpool trailer that blew up Comic-Con that we all bootlegged officially came out on a night that Conan went TVMA because they were premiering the Red Band trailer.
You touched yourself, didn't you?
I did. I touched myself 10 times because I watched that shit 10 times in a row. I did. That trailer is so good.
And this is me. This is the negative side of me. I'm going, this trailer is so fucking good. There's no way the movie can be this good.
But I think
There's no way. No way. But I'm hoping that it is, because the only guy that could play that character is the guy that's playing that character. And the thing that I loved was we didn't talk about it last week, but that they had put out a trailer for the trailer.
Yes.
To let us all know that it was coming. And it was Ryan Reynolds doing the voiceover as Deadpool. And the best line in the trailer was, from the studio that inexplicably sewed his fucking mouth shut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the Deadpool movie we deserve to have. Like the costume looks like it stepped right off the comic book page. The characterizations are spot on. Fucking what's his name is Weasel, T.J. Miller.
Yeah.
Oh, he's great. Blind Al looks like Blind Al should look. I mean, it looks like the movie should be. I like the little swerve they give you at the beginning of the trailer too, where it looks all like grimdark, and then goes into Deadpool. So, Green Lantern jokes.
But, I love that. I love the Green Lantern joke. I heard there's going to be a couple more in there.
I heard he goes on a rant about it in the movie.
That would be fantastic.
They said that one might wind up on the DVD extras, but
yeah, I'm sure, because you can only poke that bear so much.
Yeah, before DC's like, hey, stop it. We have some shit going on.
We have some stuff coming out that's going to be lots of Batman.
Yeah. Batman's a Green Lantern now.
Lots of Batman. But yeah, that movie looks hella fun. It really does. And for as bad as this Fantastic Four movie looked and is turning out to be, that Deadpool movie is the exact opposite.
Yes. And now Fox, apparently, on their X-Men side of things, was thinking of making Gambit their linchpin character now that Hugh Jackman's retiring. From people that are, like, inside sources with the movie and stuff with Deadpool, saying they should make Deadpool, like, the linchpin. Like, don't have him be, like, the main star of every movie, but he needs to kind of be connected to the movies.
They're not going to do that.
No, they won't, because Deadpool's an R-rated movie.
Exactly, and that's kind of what I'm worried about now, that it's going to be an R-rated movie, that when this comes out and some jerk-off parents who don't pay attention bring their kids to the superhero movie, and then when he's motherfucking his face off, they're going to freak out.
Well,
and then Fox is going to scramble to re-edit the movie and put out a PG-13 version real quick.
Those are the same dumbass parents that brought their kids to go see Watchmen.
And the same dumbass parents that brought their kids to see Ant-Man at the movie theater you were at earlier that let them run around and were taking selfies of themselves.
And the same dumbass parents that let their kids go see Kick-Ass in the theater.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. You're probably right that is what is going to happen.
The difference with those characters is none of them were on the Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah.
And I get that. And this is going to be Chris going off on his fucking rant again. But when the fuck...
Hold on to your butts.
Did it become the movie studios, the TV stations? When did it become their job to babysit your fucking...
Oh, I agree. That's the same argument I have when it comes to video game ratings.
Fucking stupid to do a little research before taking your kid to see an R-fucking-rated movie. You deserve whatever that kid becomes later.
Yep.
You made an R-rated comic book movie. Comic books are for children.
Nope.
That's very irresponsible for you to create a film.
A highly rated TV show on AMC that is based on a comic book that is not a kid's show. So that is invalid. So those parents can kiss my fat fucking ass.
His mic's going to break. You're hitting the levels. He's going up. I see it rising. His face is red. The last time that happened, he blinked out of existence for like 10 minutes.
Now, just because there's some perverse comic books that weirdos who live in their mother's basements read, like The Walking Dead, it doesn't mean that comic books associated with Spider-Man and family-friendly things should have R-rated versions with bloodshed of that sort and language. It's not the type of world that.
Chris is gonna punch you through the computer soon.
I am gonna punch you right through the goddamn computer.
He's like, I'm gonna punch
and this is why.
Those people are out there, though. There's people.
I know they are.
That shit.
I know they are, and I want to punch every single one of them.
Oh yeah, that's like
every one of them.
Did we talk about the
person that takes their kid to a fucking horror movie and then can't understand why their kid grows up to be fucking Charlie Manson
and
or Mike?
Or
Well,
Jensen.
did we talk about this a couple weeks ago when there was a father walking through the aisle at Target with his daughters, and the daughter asked, "Daddy, why is this girl wearing that?" And it was a Slave Leia action figure.
Yes.
Like, why?
We didn't talk about that. I don't think.
But I'm not sure if we did.
It
First
was
of all, this guy
was the
lives
Star
under a
Wars
rock.
Black figure, which is not. I'm going to use air quotes here, so any of you that are listening aren't going to see it, but it's technically not a toy.
Yeah, it's a collector's figure, and it looks awesome. And this father was walking through the aisles, and he's like, he said in the article he didn't want to have to explain why this girl was wearing a chain around her neck because he didn't want his daughters. Yeah, because he didn't want his daughters having to know about things like that. He didn't know where this figure came from. So this motherfucker was an Amish man that never seen Star Wars in his life.
Hey, asshole! Big fucking letters on the box. It says fucking Star Wars. Watch it for once.
Oh my god! But yeah, we're getting way off topic.
I don't have enough beer tonight. I really don't.
All right, let's swerve the car back on the road.
Watch, I can bring something up and make Chris's head blow off.
Oh god! I'm trying to steer
fuck.
the car back on the road.
What?
I'm trying to make it come back on the road within the skid.
The ethical question came up when I was at Monster Mania as to whether it's appropriate for the general lead to appear at conventions now.
Oh god!
Oh, for the love of fucking God!
Chris is done. All right. Let's move away.
Look at space guy.
Back away from the bear. Back away. Just back. All right. Moving on. let's talk about other stuff because Chris is mad now. Let's talk about another topic Chris loves.
All right, I got something.
literally pulled my hat down over my face.
I got something that was kind of weird and fun and just kind of a little bit of a palate cleanser. Did you guys hear?
Please cleanse my fucking palate.
Did you guys hear the Chris Farley Shrek audio?
I did.
I've seen it, but I haven't watched it yet.
I wanted to watch that documentary tonight. I am Chris Farley, but I forgot it was on.
I heard that's fantastic. I heard the Chris Farley documentary.
I was listening to Kevin Farley on the Jay Moore podcast, and creepily as it is, Kevin Farley, when he laughs, sounds just like Chris.
Oh, there's points where he looks and sounds just like his brother.
Oh, yeah.
But the Shrek audio, he's not doing... I mean, that Mike Myers Scottish character is that Mike Myers Scottish thing that he always does. And it's Farley's doing it more as Farley.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still Eddie Murphy as Donkey. And it's with listening to it, it's like, oh, this probably still would have been a pretty solid movie. I don't know, but I was thinking, I'm like, that accent might have helped, might have helped bump it up a little bit.
I think that's what it was. The accent did elevate it a little bit more, because otherwise it's Chris Farley being an ogre.
Yeah.
But I do want to see it. I'm probably going to try to see if I can find that documentary this week. I'm sure Spike's probably going to replay it all week.
Yeah, it's actually they're actually running that now. It was on.
Yeah, I know. As we record,
I think Mary's out.
I kind of feel there would be some interesting emotion put into it with Farley, because I feel like he's the type of guy that would have that, like, I'm an ogre in real life feeling. Like, he always had, like, and some of the things I've heard from the documentary and other things, Jay Moore telling stories about him, that he would always kind of go that extra mile to get the laugh out of people, to win people over.
Yeah.
Because he was just, he craved it. And I think that would have brought an interesting element into the emotion of Shrek.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
It would be neat to see if they did some kind of a cut with the Farley audio.
Yeah.
As much as they could to give you some of those scenes.
Now we're gonna get sad talking about Chris Farley.
Well,
yeah, I'm getting sad talking about Farley.
All right, let's move on.
Well, remember, as great as he was, he also made Hollywood Ninja and Wagons East or whatever the fuck.
Wait, did you see the trailer cut of Chris Farley in Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation?
Yes.
That was fantastic.
That was fantastic.
It was great. All right. Let's move on a little bit. Let's move a little bit more towards where was it going? DC. That's where I was going because there's some news out of DC. One, Ben Affleck.
Washington D.C. Is something wrong with the president? Are you telling me that the government has dissolved?
Apparently,
Might as well.
Ben Affleck had some other movies in the pipeline with Warner Brothers that they're delaying.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Ben Affleck cheated on Jennifer Gardner with the nanny. I thought that's where you were going.
No. That he had some other movies in the pipeline that are getting pushed because Warner Brothers has apparently signed Ben Affleck to a multi-picture, 3-picture deal, and he may be the Iron Man of the DC Cinematic Universe now.
Okay, let's pause for a minute.
Okay.
And I'm just going to say one thing.
Yes.
Y'all know what I'm going to say.
I know what you're going to say. We're going to get Chris mad again. That's what we're going to say.
I'm not going to get mad. I'm being very zen. I'm being very zen. Really, we need more Batman. You have great characters, Warner Brothers / DC. Wonderful characters. I was always a Marvel guy, but you have some great characters. Do we really need more fucking Batman?
Well, what happens is if they don't make a Batman movie every couple of years, the rights revert back to Marvel.
Think about how good a Marvel Batman movie would be. Oh, wow. There's some weird deal that Stan Lee worked out with Bob Kane when they were drinking. They were all fucking coked up in like 1975.
Oh, that would be fucking brilliant.
They're drinking, doing blow. They're
it would be like
Mansion.
It would be like every knockoff Mexican action figure you ever find of Batman when he's in an Avengers package. But
I tried. God damn it, I tried.
So yeah, apparently we have more Batman coming. So hooray!
Is the Batman gonna sleep with the nanny?
Maybe. I don't know.
Batman's a player. You know.
He is a player. So yeah, we have.
Did we talk about this last week? That they're looking at rebooting Shaft again.
We didn't talk about that last week, but
they're rebooting Shaft again.
Yes.
Well, even that reboot of Shaft technically wasn't a reboot; it was a sequel.
It was Shaft's son.
True.
Nephew.
Nephew? I thought it was son.
Nephew of Shaft. Yeah.
Samuel L. Shaft.
Samuel L. Shaft.
Yes.
What you talking about? Or no?
Shut him out. All these motherfucking Shaft reboots and this.
Samuel L. Fury. Yeah.
But in a weird bit of casting, they're gonna have a white guy play Shaft. It was.
Stop.
Yeah, that's what they said. You know, they're like, well, we've kind of done Shaft. You know, it's. They're not gonna do a white Shaft.
I know. Shaft is gonna be Will Ferrell.
People would lose their motherfucking mind. Army Hammer as Shaft.
Yo, that Man from U.N.C.L.E. movie is supposed to be pretty good.
I'm actually Superman and a Lone Ranger.
Yes.
I finally got the chance. I had seen it was coming out, and I finally got the chance to talk to the biggest Man from U.N.C.L.E. fan that I know, my mother.
Okay.
And actually, both my parents are Man from U.N.C.L.E. fans, but my mother, it was her like absolute favorite.
My dad used to like Man from U.N.C.L.E.
So we were talking a little bit about it, and she's like upset that like the original guys aren't in it. Like she wants a 78-year-old man from U.N.C.L.E.
Wow. The grandpa from U.N.C.L.E.?
But, yeah, the grandpa. The man from Grandpa. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. And then I was explaining it to a couple people. I'm like, oh, it was one of those like James Bond TV series that they had back then. And I only saw a handful of Man from U.N.C.L.E. episodes.
Yeah,
but my
too.
first association of Man from U.N.C.L.E. was once Robert Vaughn joined the cast of A-Team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They did an episode where they did a Man from U.N.C.L.E. episode where his ex-partner showed up to try and take him down, and it was the guy that played Yuri Gagarin on Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Nice.
Oh, speaking of A-Team, when I was at the Monster Mania convention last week, I bought the A-Team board game.
Nice.
Which I think this might be one of my new things, to buy old licensed board games to go.
I used to have the Hawaiian Punch board game. Do you remember that one?
Pac-Man when I had a bunch. I don't remember Hawaiian Punch board.
Hawaiian Punch.
Weren't we looking at the A-Team game board game at Chiller?
We were looking at color forms.
That's right. We were looking at the color forms.
We looked at a bunch of color forms.
Kids don't even know
there
the joy.
was a guy that had, and this is Chris's nerdiness from the 80s and the 70s. I was a huge Chips fan, and the guy had Chips color forms, and it took everything I had not to drop like the $45 for the Chips color forms.
I had so many color. You know what I had? I had the color forms, but then I also had this other thing when I was a kid. I remember I bought it at the dollar store in Bay Village in Long Beach Island when I was down here on vacation.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was an Ewoks Village thing.
Yes, I had
but
that.
But you rub the. It wasn't color.
Yeah, it was the Presto. It was the Presto Magic.
Yes,
the Presto Magic.
I had that. I love that.
And we're fucking old because nobody younger than
kids today don't know.
No one younger than 30.
Although I
would know what that is.
A couple weeks ago, we went to Dollar General and they had Crayola crayons for like 25 cents. And my wife needed to have crayons and a coloring book so she could color.
Nice. Mary and I have a whole closet full of coloring books and crayons because we're just nerdy like that. Sometimes there's nothing more relaxing than opening up a Star Wars coloring book and like coloring.
I'm going to buy a Star Wars coloring book around Christmas time when Star Wars is coming out.
You should, because Star Wars is coming out.
It is coming out.
Apparently, I need to put in for that day off.
There's a Korean ad that shows a new section.
I saw it, and there was the whole thing was new footage, and it was 5 seconds of new footage.
Oh, so it was a lens flare?
It wasn't anything that like was
substantial.
Did really anything for anything. But everybody is screen capped this and is just analyzing every little thing.
We live in the day that everyone on the internet's fucking Zapruder.
As a whole, I am staying away from any. Like, I'll watch trailers, but I'm staying away from any.
Me too. I'll watch trailers, things like that, but any articles,
I'm not. I won't.
Unless it's, look, he's in this movie. That's pretty much it.
I won't
even. I don't even want to see that. I want to be just surprised with.
I'm doing the trailers, but aside from that, I'm not.
There's got to be another trailer coming out before December.
I'm sure.
There has to be.
Well, Do you
have the Star Wars app on your phone? Yet? No, that's.
I do not.
I knew I had something else to say. I'll come back to the Star Wars app in a second. But D23, some footage may have leaked out because there's news for Captain America: Civil War that Spider-Man is going to have 2 suits. He's going to have his first homemade suit, and then he gets his official Spider-Man suit. Some grainy-ass footage has come out of his original suit, which kind of looks. I don't know how many people are familiar with the Spider-Man manga. It kind of looks like that, where it's kind of goggly and he has boots, and I mean he still has the red and dark blue, but it's more of a you could tell this kid made it in his bedroom on the sly instead of you're supposed to believe Spider-Man made this spider suit in like a night in his room. So, and apparently he sides with Iron Man, and then he gets his new suit. He's not getting the Iron Spider suit. He's getting more of an actual Spider-Man suit.
You better not get the Iron Spider
But
suit.
at D23, they're supposed to show the first footage of Spider-Man in Civil War.
Cool.
So,
cool.
But now, going back to what I was saying, do you have the Star Wars app on your phone?
I do not.
I have the Star Wars app on my phone. And it gives you a countdown to the movie. It makes noises. It has GIFs, so you can send GIFs to your friends and annoy them. And this week, coming to Android, Star Wars emojis. Which
fantastic.
I don't use emojis.
Downloaded now.
I don't use emojis.
Now.
I'm gonna use the fuck out of some Star Wars emojis. Just say, and they had every stage of Anakin, from Pod Racer to Darth Vader.
Oh, Pod Racer Anakin.
I'm just saying, if you want to, you can have Darth
Anakin. I'm pretty sure he just got arrested, actually.
Yeah, he did.
Within the past
somebody made a great meme of it, where they took his mugshot and put him in like a hood, and they said that old adult Jake Lord now looks more like a Sith than Hayden Christensen ever did.
Whatever. And you
Did
know,
you guys see-
not to go, but that just reminded me of a meme that I just saw. It's probably made the rounds for a while, but it was a picture of Obi-Wan and Luke from A New Hope, and it's this is your father's lightsaber. He wanted you to have it when you were old enough, and then the bottom one is Hayden Christensen as Anakin all burning and shit.
toasty.
And
I've
it's
seen
like,
that.
I hate you. I want my son to have my lightsaber.
Did you guys see any of the thing for Alex Ross's cover for Secret Wars 8?
I have not read Secret Wars 8 yet.
The cover of Secret Wars 8, it's got Reed Richards and Doctor Doom squaring off in the middle, and then it has it's got like a broken reality where you see the Celestials, where you see the bomb going off and Bruce Banner, getting the Hulk. You see a Phoenix, the Phoenix thing. You see Elektra being killed. You see various moments from the Marvel Universe. But there's a picture of Spider-Man where you see him on a radio tower, and there's a boot in the bottom corner of that scene, and it's the cover from the Spider-Man Superman crossover from the 70s.
Is it really?
So Alex Ross snuck it's Superman's boot.
Nice.
And Alex Ross snuck Superman into the cover of Secret Wars 8.
That's pretty awesome.
Way to go, Alex Ross.
I thought that was just a fun little... I mean, there's no real news there, but it was just a fun little comic thing that as you're looking at this and you're like, oh, I remember that scene, I remember... Oh, that Spider-Man cover looks familiar. What is that? Oh, it's the Spider-Man Superman.
Oh, you know what?
That is pretty cool.
My little bootleg site that I've been using to read comics, I think got shut down.
Now you got to pay for them like the rest of us.
I was paying for them, and then I don't have an iPad anymore, so then I was like, I still want to read comics. So.
You know what? I'm going to go off on an old guy rant right now.
Uh-oh.
Anybody that reads comics on an iPad needs to be beaten.
I don't have a comic shop by me.
Well, sign up for
You're on the road all day.
subscription, and they'll send you them in the mail.
I know. All right.
There is just something about holding the physical book in your hand and being gentle with it and being like, I need to bag and board this as soon as I'm done reading it.
I know.
And freaking out when somebody puts their drink on top of your comic book.
Absolutely.
Like if you leave it on the table for a second.
Strangle the fuck out of someone. What are you doing?
Shit, yeah.
I know. I really should do. I mean, there is that comic shop down in Hamilton Mall. I just don't go down to Hamilton Mall that much. I should do that. What I was thinking of signing up, they have that Marvel comic book thing that they send you a box of comics every month. I was thinking of doing that.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I have this one article that I just want to touch on. I've been sitting on it for maybe almost a month now. When was this? Does this have a date on it? Anyway. And it's in reference to an old-ass movie that you guys might not have seen.
Fantastic Four.
Nosferatu. The first ever...
Oh, God, I've seen that movie.
Yeah,
and he was a guest star in SpongeBob.
Yes, Nosferatu was on SpongeBob.
Not to interrupt, but a nice little aside to the whole Nosferatu thing. There was one day I was out picking up beer with my brother-in-law, and there's a beer called Nosferatu, and he said, "Oh, I should try that beer, Nosferatu." And I looked at him and said, "Nosferatu?" And he goes, "Yeah."
You tiny fuck.
That's funny.
That's right, Rich. I called you out on the podcast.
Nosferatu.
So anyway, the director of Nosferatu, F.W. Murnau.
He's
Did
got
you guys ever saw?
300 years old right now.
Well, he has been dead, but he made the news because
He came back
someone went into the cemetery and stole his head.
Oh, shit.
Fantastic.
Is that the guy who's doing the reboot of Nosferatu that stole his head? He's
Possibly.
looking for some ideas.
Well, there was a reboot of Nosferatu in the 70s. There was a remake that's very well. Nosferatu was It was essentially the Dracula reboot.
Yeah.
Nosferatu, the first reboot.
How hard is it not to say Nosferatu now?
No, I'm all right. No, I'm gonna think about it though tomorrow.
You're gonna think about it just a little bit.
Like Nosferatu. Did you guys ever see Shadow of the Bat? Shadow of the Vampire, not Shadow of the Bat.
Is that the Eddie Murphy one?
No, that's
Vampire in Harlem.
Dude, I'm gonna smack you through the flag.
I can't believe the sentence came out of my mouth. No, that's Vampire in Brooklyn. Like somebody would ever confuse the Eddie Murphy vampire movie for anything else.
For anything. You know what, man? I had forgotten about that goddamn Eddie Murphy vampire movie for like, I blocked it out of my head for like 20 years. 20
That actually made my
years.
head feel. I felt like somebody just punched me. It was like I was like, oh, what?
I have a story with that movie because
My nose itches now from you saying that. It was.
I can see it on the shelf at Blockbuster Video.
Listen, I rented that movie.
That's when he had the long hair, when he had the long flowing hair.
I rented that. That's going to be the cover of this week's episode. I rented that movie before I moved to Jersey, and then I quickly moved to Jersey because some shit happened, and that movie slid under the seat of my truck, and I forgot about it. And then I got a bill.
Blockbuster late fee, didn't you?
No, it was a mom and pop shop. I got a bill for $150 for this movie.
That's right, because back in the day, people don't know this, that videos didn't come out for sale right away. And like people, I was a manager at Blockbuster. Will worked with me at Blockbuster. Believe it or not, I was Will's boss.
Yep.
That was scary. It's the worst employee I've ever had.
We were one of the worst employees.
We were some of the worst employees. But
I'm not even
that's
supposed
a
to be here.
podcast. We should talk about the fucking Blockbuster.
Oh, we should do a Blockbuster podcast. But people would like, they'd come in on like a Tuesday afternoon and be like, I lost this movie and it was whatever, it was Titanic. Clerks. It was Titanic or whatever. And it's like, I lost this movie. Let me just buy it. And it'd be like, all right, that's $150.
You're like, what?
That's $150.
Because kids, back in the day, certain movies came out for sale and certain movies didn't.
Exactly.
Well, it used to be only like the shit movies would come out for sale right away.
I remember the first mainstream...
And even be on video. It used to take sometimes like 18 months for something to come out on video.
One of the first mainstream movies that came out on video the same day it came out for rental was the 1989 Batman.
Yeah,
I think that was the change. That was probably the change.
It was usually the big movies. The blockbusters would come out right away, but it was everything else that wasn't a huge hit would be $100 plus.
Like Vampire in Brooklyn.
Like Vampire in Brooklyn. So when you lost Vampire in Brooklyn under the seat of your car and you got a bill for $100 and something.
I never paid that shit. That store went out of business.
I was gonna say, if you ever paid $150 for Vampire in Brooklyn, Eddie Murphy should come over to your house.
Eddie Murphy should come over your show.
Eddie Murphy should come over your house and blow you.
I don't want that.
I was gonna say he'd probably rub your feet. He was in the like men's feet. So.
All right, go back to your Nosferatu. We got way off track again.
Well, I don't know how the fuck it got from the guy from that F.W. Murnau's head was chopped off to Eddie Murphy having man relations with you. I just thought it was a cool kind of gothy story that the guy who directed Nosferatu got his head stolen from the cemetery.
Dreams about man relations with Eddie Murphy.
And then directed Vampire in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Same guy.
But and then I brought up Shadow of the Vampire, which is
That's
about
how we got there.
the making of and you confused that for Vampire in Brooklyn. It's still, every time I say it, it makes my head hurt a little bit.
Such a bad movie.
It takes all the hot air out of my story. I was like, hey, you guys ever, I was like, I want to get into kind of a cool conversation of an older movie that might not everybody had seen that was kind of neat, and it was about the making of Nosferatu. But now all we're fucking talking about is Vampire in Brooklyn.
This
So,
shit happens.
long story short,
Eddie Murphy
this is what's wrong with the world. Somebody wants to recommend quality, interesting film like Shadow of the Vampire, but
all anybody's
all
gonna
you ever
remember
hear about is Vampire in Brooklyn.
1995.
You couldn't even get it confused with like Once Bitten, the
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey one?
Jim Carrey,
That's a fantastic movie. That is a fantastic movie.
the Living Color Jim Carrey. I think Cleavon Little is in that too, I believe.
Yo, Eddie Murphy let his soul glow in this fucking Vampire in Brooklyn. Holy shit. All right, I'm done.
All right. I think we might all be done. After getting
Ladies and
into
gentlemen,
a way too deep conversation.
Sexual chocolate, Mr. Randy Watson.
Sexual chocolate. We're sorry.
We are so far off the fucking rails, it's unbelievable.
Vampire in motherfucking Brooklyn.
It's getting rebooted with Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh no, Kevin Hart.
All right.
Kevin Hart.
I just want there to be I wish Patrice O'Neal was still alive.
I know.
In a Kevin Hart Vampire in Brooklyn remake.
Oh.
I want there to be Vampire in Philadelphia with
Where
Kevin Hart.
the vampires
Keith
tear apart a
Robinson.
poor defenseless robot.
Yeah, Igor is Hitchbot.
All right, I have something that we can leave on.
I got one thing too. So go ahead.
And this is
Well, then we'll go first. If Mike is thinks this is something we can leave on,
it's
we'll
not
go
something
first.
that strong, but it's something that I guess we can all appreciate, and it might be something we can all look forward to for October.
Okay.
As a
Okay, then
possibility.
we'll end on
Tuesday
that.
Festival?
We'll go
Okay,
first.
okay.
Tuesday Festival? Oh,
Okay.
I got excited.
Okay.
All right. So a large
Ryan,
part of
New
our
Zealand.
past, back
Okay.
in the day, kids, when people used to buy newspapers and get the Sunday flyers, there was always an ad on the back that you can get 10 CDs
Strip
for
clubs.
a penny.
Oh.
You can get 10 CDs for a penny. You tape a penny to a piece of paper, you mail it in, and they send you 10 free CDs. You're supposed to.
What's a penny?
True story. Now, any of you young folks out there might think that this is
What's the mail?
Yeah.
How do you email a penny? I don't understand.
Copy a penny. Yes. But this was a true thing that we did with the mail. That we sent it out, and magically, 6 to 8 weeks later, we got CDs.
You got 8 CDs? 8 CDs for a penny.
Well, one of the big companies that did that was Columbia House. And all these years later, Columbia House is filing for bankruptcy. Because apparently
Which is surprising.
they're-
Because
They've been getting ripped off because people were getting records in the mail.
well, apparently they moved on to DVDs.
Well, but you know, Columbia House was selling 8 CDs for a penny, and you know, I got 8 CDs for a penny.
But you're supposed to keep buying shit for a year, and nobody ever did.
Nobody ever.
Only
did.
110,000 people have bought a product from Columbia House DVD Club within the last year.
Wow.
Yeah. Columbia House was founded in 1955 and initially sold vinyl records. Over the years, its music club offered deals like 8 CDs for a penny or 13 records or cassette tapes for $1.
Now, I want to bring up a little-known thing or a lesser-known thing about Columbia House. The stuff that they sent you was crap.
No.
No,
That's not true.
wait. With the vinyls, probably less with the CDs, but definitely with the vinyls. They sent you a lesser quality vinyl.
Oh, really?
It was thinner. I have one I have a vinyl that's miscut that I just picked up from a garage sale, and it's one of these thin, cheap kind of Columbia House style vinyls, and it's like an old Go-Go's album or something like that.
We got to be.
And it's miscut, so it's like an egg. And the way my record player is set up, it won't play on my record player because it spins for 75% of a rotation, and then it hits this egged point, and then fucks up
Oh, wow.
because they sent you shit stuff.
That's
And that's
what they
how
call a
they
mystery.
got away with everybody by selling 8 things for a penny because it cost them 1/8 of a penny to make any of that shit.
A shilling.
A farthing.
A hay penny.
Oh, I just read something else. The New York-based parent company, Film Entertainment, says its revenue rose to $1.4 billion in 1996, and fell almost every year after that. In 2014, its revenue totaled about 17 million. So it went from the billions to the millions.
I think in 1996, I think I bought like one of my 8 CDs for a penny was like Seal's Greatest Hits or something like that.
Got Kiss from a Rose.
I was going to say Kiss of the Rose and that other song. What's that?
Fly Like an Eagle.
Fly Like an Eagle, yeah.
Space
Well,
Jam.
That's Fly Like an Eagle is a fucking
Steve Miller Band song.
Yeah, but Seal redid it for Space Jam.
He did, which is a very underrated movie.
It is, and they're making a sequel starring LeBron.
No fucking way.
Did you not hear about this?
I did not hear about this.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago they announced that LeBron James Entertainment Company is partnering with Warner Brothers for a Space Jam sequel.
I don't want to be on this planet anymore.
I call shenanigans. I think it's just a rumor.
No, this was like a press release put out by LeBron's people.
I think it's a publicity stunt.
Well, we'll see. It was right after Trainwreck, so we'll see.
Well, Marvin the Martian is in some commercial with that weird-looking dude from the Clippers.
I don't know any.
I can't think of his name. I don't watch basketball anymore.
Time for sports.
I haven't watched basketball since like, when was the last Knick game we went to?
Jeez.
I haven't watched basketball since Dennis Rodman was on the Bulls.
I think Mike and I went to a Knick game with his dad and my dad in like 1985.
Wow.
I was going to say, I think we might have seen Kareem Abdul-Jabbar play.
Wow.
I've seen. That's not true. I've been to some basketball games since then. I've seen Jordan play. I've seen Moses Malone play. But
Moses Malone.
Moses Malone. Yeah.
Seen Dr. J. All right.
I remember going. I
Dr. J.
remember seeing Larry Bird. I remember, and I do remember going to see a Nets Magic game in Shaq's rookie season, and it was the second time that he pulled the backboard down.
Oh, nice.
I was at that game.
You're like, ah! All right.
We're judging the quality of our basketball games by the basketball players who were actors in other
So you saw
things.
Kazam. Smash that shit.
Deal.
All right. Let's go to your last article, Mike, and then we'll get the hell out of here.
It's not really an article as much as it is an announcement.
Okay.
And this is a little bit more regional. This is Chiller Theater, the New York, North Jersey horror television memorabilia, a little bit of everything, music.
I almost went there last week, actually.
And if you haven't gone to Chiller, I highly recommend it.
I almost went last week. We just wound up getting busy.
Well, it wasn't Chiller Theater last week.
Well, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was.
Monster. You're thinking
Mania.
Monster
That's
Mania.
That's what I was thinking. Monster
That's in
Mania.
the Philadelphia area. This is North Jersey, New York area.
Oh, okay.
But they started announcing their guest list.
Okay.
And so far,
I'm excited about the one name on this guest list.
Yes, this is the name that I am excited about too.
Is
And
that
it's the
anybody?
name we should all be excited about because it's a trilogy of films that we all love and hold dear to our heart.
Star Wars?
One Mr. Finley Shepard.
Say Finley?
Ian Ziering
Earring is going to
Oh,
be
shit.
of Sharknado
Oh, shit.
is going to be at Chiller Theater.
At the
I'm
height of
so
his
going to
popularity.
Chiller Theater. I'm going to Chiller Theater just for that.
You're like, you're right here. Yo, you don't
Because
want to go
I
there.
love me-
If
I
sharks
love
show up,
Sharknado.
if sharks show up, shit's going down, and you know it.
Now,
I
I'm going to
need
bring
to
up
go-
a fact. Wait. The past 2 Chiller Theaters in October. The last one in October was cut short because of Hurricane Sandy.
Okay.
Maybe that wasn't the last one. Hurricane Sandy was already 2 years ago now.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
So, I missed. I had Hurricane Sandy, and the year before that there was a snowstorm, and then after Hurricane Sandy there was something weird that happened in October that messed up the Chiller Theater weekend for me. So I would not be surprised if there was a Sharknado at Chiller Theater.
Wait a second. What if his appearance at Chiller Theater is coinciding with him filming Sharknado 4?
It might, which is more reason why we need to go to. I need to make sure I go to Chiller again this year because I had a blast at Chiller last year.
When is it? In October?
October.
Yes, October 23rd to the 25th, Parsippany, New Jersey.
Which is good because that won't be the weekend I'm running the 5K that my wife just told me about.
They tend to have a good mix of guests of active people from Walking Dead, Sons of Anarchy, things like that. They get some really cool older celebrities that you're like, oh wow, I got a chance to meet John Astin. Last year I met Anne Margaret there. I got an Anne Margaret 8x10 signed.
You know what you need to do before you run that 5K, Chris? You need to drink a Four Loko. That shit will make you run.
No, you see, this is the 5K that is right up my alley.
What is it?
It's called the Trogs Hop Dash.
Okay. Are you running from beer to beer?
I am running for beer.
Okay.
Which is awesome.
You're not gonna make it to the end.
I will.
You'll be like, pulling yourself.
I will make it to the end. God damn it, because they're giving me beer.
Are they giving you beer along the way?
No, not along the way.
That's what I thought.
Like those cups that you like.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That'd be great. All right, I think it's time for us to wrap this up.
Yeah, but if you get a chance to go to Chiller, I highly recommend
I'm actually
it. I went to my first Chiller last year, and it was a blast.
Maybe we will coordinate and go.
We should coordinate and go.
Yes.
Although last year there was a racist there.
Oh.
And his line was long.
Really? Not this year.
He wasn't racist. His car was racist.
No, this guy was actually.
Oh, that racist.
That racist.
I'm thinking of the last chiller I went to. It was that other racist from the 80s.
That other racist.
I was confused.
Hulk Hogan was.
Well, I got that one, but then somebody said the car was racist. I'm like, was Kit racist?
I'm thinking about what's his name was also there. John Schneider was.
Oh.
John Schneider was there.
I was like, I don't remember Kit being a racist.
That was a Dave Chappelle bit.
Oh.
Where they're like, who was the most racist car in Hollywood? And they show the generally, and then they cut the Kit going, Michael, I hate all these Mexicans.
Nice. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up. We all have to go watch Vampire in Brooklyn now. So, you know where to find us. Ninjaverse.wordpress.com. Facebook.com/TheNinjaverse. On SoundCloud, look for The Ninjaverse because that's where we post all of our stuff. And Twitters and all that good stuff. So, I'm Will.
I'm Chris.
I'm Mike.
And we'll see you next week.
And don't take your kids to see an R-rated superhero movie.
I'm taking my kids to see an R-rated superhero movie.
You're taking your kids to see Vampire in Brooklyn.